Well, all we gotta say is Happy Halloween.
The
Addams Family.
That's all I know.
Who knows the words of these songs? I feel like somebody's watching me.
What other Halloween songs do you know?
The Monster Mash.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. The Monster Mash. That's it.
He did the Monster Mash.
That's the best part. Oh, what are we doing here?
Wow.
Okay. Welcome to the Menlo Experience. I'm your host, Brad Stan, here with Kyle Bach, and it's Halloween. So,
Halloween, yes.
We're not very good at Halloween.
You
songs.
love Halloween, don't you? It's your favorite holiday of the year.
I cannot disagree with that more. I am not much of a Halloween person, but, you know, I've heard you like it.
Yeah, I told you earlier I dressed up as you today, so yeah.
It's very good.
There's somebody said we dressed the same, so I was like, well, that's just more convenient then.
Easy
So,
costume.
That's right. That's
Easy
right.
costume.
Although I have to say, somebody in our office dressed as somebody else in the office and nailed it. So Brad
Is that the
Lacoste.
orange shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him on the
Wow.
hallway. And he had the orange shoes on,
Orange
too.
shoes, orange shirt. Yeah, it was well played.
It was well played.
So,
I saw that.
Yeah, and then we had a couple scary people, so, you know,
I just can't get into
bag.
the whole Halloween thing.
Yeah.
It's just not my deal.
Not
But-
a scary movie guy.
No, not really.
Yeah,
I mean,
me neither.
I got enough scariness in business. Like I could just relax when I get home
Yeah.
if I'm going to watch something. So
Yeah. I feel like you're more of an office, go watch Michael Scott kind of guy. Parks and Rec. No,
those,
not
no.
even quarterback. Just
Quarterback. Yeah, I stick to sports.
Okay.
That's about the
Sports
only thing I watch.
documentaries.
It's pretty
Okay. Sports
boring,
games.
But,
Okay.
yeah. How about you?
Sports
What are you
ball.
watching these days?
Ooh, let's see. I am watching the quarterback again with my son. So we're watching that series again right now, which has been fun. What did we just watch? Oh man, Tracy and I are watching some rom-com thing. I can't remember the name of it though. So it's about a Jewish rabbi and his girlfriend. That's all I know.
Okay. Must be a good one.
Somebody knows it, so somebody will get the name right. Jessica probably knows what
Comment.
it is.
It's
She
fine.
knows
Yeah.
it is. No,
So,
she doesn't know.
Well, speaking of watching, have you been watching the latest Chiefs games? You know, part
Have
of the
I
season.
been watching the latest Chiefs games? I still hold that we're going to the Super Bowl, so we're on our way.
I was trying to remember what prediction I made before the season started.
I think I said 3 losses, and I think I said the wrong number of wins, and I think you gave me a hard time after the podcast recording for it.
Oh, yeah,
I think I
you-
said like
you
10
missed
and
a
3
game.
or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
and
you
you're
missed a
like,
couple games.
there's more games than that, Kyle.
Yeah. I think I was thinking 5 losses, but it's pretty incredible how first part of the season, Chiefs were down and out. Right, the dynasty's over. There's nobody
yeah.
there, and
Yep.
now we're Super Bowl favorite again here coming in
Yep.
this week. So big game with the Bills tomorrow. Well,
Big one.
Sunday.
Big one. Historically, we lose this game.
Yeah, because we like to let them win.
We
This and
let
take
them win
in the
this one
playoffs.
so we can, take it back in the playoffs. That's right.
But
So-
let's talk about this a little bit in people thinking you're down and out or losing faith in you as a person, as a company, as a team.
Yeah.
Right? Like what kind of discipline does it take internal? Maybe if this is about your own individual sense, but
yeah.
what about a team to keep the eyes on moving forward, confidence up, going? So as you think about that, because everybody can't wait to sling, and we've talked about this before with Formula One, I think, where
Yeah.
In Europe they like a dominant person, right?
Yeah.
They like a Max Verstappen or whatever, right? Coming over here to the States, they like the underdog to have an opportunity, right? It's the American.
We really don't like
way,
anyone
right?
staying on top for very long.
Right.
Yeah.
And so how do you keep the team focused? How do you keep your head in the game yourself in those situations?
Yeah, that's a good question. I as you were talking about it, made me think of my 10-year-old soccer games this season, and just thinking about a lot of things that you learn at a young age, even just with sports and things like that. But this season, they lost almost every single game of the season, and I would say a solid percentage of the games this season they lost by like a significant number of goals, and it was it was rough. But I remember after each game just talking with Mason, my youngest, and just telling him, you never gave up, right? Like just, continue to run, through the end of the game, continue to push, continue to try, and I think there's some level of just tenacity that, you learn, I think at a young age of, are you just going to throw in the towel and just be done? And I think when you watch even professional sports, you see that, right? And I think it's it's so much easier just to kind of throw in the towel than it is to really mentally reset. And sometimes even just, for me at work, even in those moments, sometimes it's getting up and taking a mental break and just coming back down and, and attacking it again. But when you fail or when you drop the ball, when which we all do, right? How do you respond to failure? I think is one of those, and, do you continue to push? Do you continue to get after it? Because I think are you ever really down and out in business, right? Until the doors close, until, there's always more opportunity in it. And so I love this season. I think he's really modeled that well. But we've talked about it, I think, almost after every game. So yeah, when's the time that you felt most down and out in business?
Oh gosh.
Biggest downer.
Great question. I mean, there's all these micro moments, you know, and I was talking to my daughter the other night, putting her to bed, and it's a conversation we use a lot because she's going through just growing up and all this, and I just reminded her tomorrow's a new day, and so, I think there's lots of moments, I mean, there's days I come in the morning at 7 a.m. It feels like a disaster or something's, you get hit by something with a customer or just something that didn't go right or supplier can't get something to you.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's always a new day. That has been my best discipline as I've got going through business. Because if you just get consumed by it and it's a natural reset. Just tomorrow's a new day. And so, there's been some significant things over time period and some that just drag on, and they're just pulling at you.
Yeah.
Dragging you down, and you just got to be able to pull yourself out and get over it. But as we're talking about this, I was thinking it's on an individual basis, it's really hard to get pulled out of those situations. It's just you, and I think in a lot of ways that's the power of a team, right? You've got people, multiple people, 5 people, 10 people, 60 people on a sports team maybe, and many people can be down, but it only takes a couple people that's got some positive energy at the time that can pull you out of it, right? And they can keep you focused on that. So,
and the flip side, it's the people that it only takes a couple of really negative people to really just tank the team,
sure,
right?
That can be.
Yeah, I was on the sideline for K-State when we had our chance at national championship down at Baylor. We won that game. We're really going to the national championship that year, and RG3 came out during that game.
Oh yeah.
And just annihilated. That was his big coming out game and just annihilated K-State. And I was on the sideline like 5 feet away from all the players that were losing their minds. And on the sideline, they were just throwing stuff and frantic. And, and so the positive influence and the negative influence on that team, it makes all the difference in the world.
It does. It matters.
Yeah. That's a great point about resetting at the end of the day. How do you find yourself just, what's the best way for you to reset that? Is that on your drive home, you're resetting? Is that, what's kind of your go-to method on that? Because obviously taking it home and things like that's no good either.
That's a great question. I think I'm a big music guy. So I like some solitude just to put on some music. And I would say,
what's your go-to break the, I just had a rough day?
it depends on the day. It's a thematic. I could need a rager, just work the stress out sort of thing, or just a positive.
I'm just envisioning you listening to some Norwegian death metal driving home or something.
No, I wouldn't say that. I am a child of the '80s, so I do love some Metallica. That's just a good playlist. But there's a playlist that my son loves, and when we were driving to the hospital with him, Pharrell "Happy" was a song playing, and that was just kind of thematic of who he is. But there's this playlist "Sunny Day" that so sometimes I'll just turn something on that's relaxing, and other times I just need something crazy. How about you?
Yeah, ooh, that's a good question. I'm really eclectic on music, but I really just don't listen to country. That's the one the one thing. But yeah, I mean, as far as breaking out of the funk, I think there's I think for me, a lot of times it's stepping away just for a moment. That could be going to get a coffee. That could be, just taking a walk down the street. That could be, getting up and getting a snack. It can be something short, but I think just getting a breakaway allows me to reset and get just kind of my mental state back. and and I think that's really important because the next customer that you're talking to, it's and I have meetings where I'm going from one customer, that is having an issue that we're trying to troubleshoot for them on operations, to the next customer that's just we're graduating them, and we're all happy in rainbows and sunshine.
Yep.
And so you can't, take one into the next. And you have to, be present in each one of those in a deep way with people. And I think that, when you're able to do that, it can be taxing, but taking a break in the middle can really help kind of reset those things. So I'm definitely an EDM guy, that.
Yeah,
but
that's good.
I'm, I need some beats.
As we're talking about this, it's the like compartmentalizing is a really valuable skill. I mean, if you think about all things that go on in your life, and I even think about trying to compartmentalize a rough day and going home with the family, and making sure you enjoy that time, because it's of no value to have a bad day and then go home and unnecessarily make it a bad evening with the family or whatever, right? So it's easier said than done, but being able to compartmentalize that, whether it's a single phone call and then go to the next, is a valuable skill, and I think a lot of people probably struggle with that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think so many people take those failures or those negative emotions or whatever, and they internalize them and personalize them, so much. And so it's one thing to feel ownership, and we obviously are fans of that, when people are feeling that ownership, but at the same time, you can't internalize it and consider yourself a failure then in those situations, and think that everybody else considers you a failure and things like that. Because as you were talking about, just even when people consider you down and out, I think of just we had I was just talking with a superintendent that was in here the other day, and one of the things that he was talking about was an experience when something was going really poorly where he was at, and he thought he was going to be out of a job fairly quickly for some circumstances that were out of his control. And in that situation, it's a terrible situation. It's he's down and out at that point. But as you look back 6-7 years later, you look at that and you look at the opportunities that came after that as a result of that wouldn't have come, and that he wouldn't have been seeking out, without that. And I just think that's oftentimes hindsight on all of these things and some distance from the event help you just gain a completely different perspective on it. But in the moment, it's just so easy to tie it to your own identity. And so I think that there's, the healthier of an identity that you can have that, this one situation doesn't define me, or this, one miss, because we're an imperfect business, right? So every business has, dropped balls and things like that happen. And, and just like every sports game, right? Like that's a drop ball. Kelsey dropped one at the beginning of this last game. I was like, oh no, there we go again. And he has his best game, 99 yards, game. Couldn't believe they didn't give him another one just to get over 100. Come on, Pat, do better next time. But anyways, I think that's, you're all going to have drop balls, but not having that, as part of your identity, I think is kind of a cheat code, if you're able to build that as a discipline in life.
Yeah, I know a lot of people we have interview with us listen to these podcasts, and it's just a question I like to ask a lot of times. So if they, hint, prep a little bit, but I ask people, what's your internal barometer for success? Because so much of what most people do is they look to the outside world to determine their orientation, to determine whether or not they're being successful, to wait for feedback. And I think having your own knowledge of that, like what is okay to you, right? Like what did you perform at your best, right? And if you did, there's, you may have lost the game, you may have won the game, but if you're okay with yourself, like you've got to have your own reference point. And when you start looking at the outside world for all validation and feedback and an indication of whether you're down the right path or doing the right thing, it's really easy to have these roller coasters, right? I mean, because there's things changing all the time. There's people that aren't going to like you. There's people that will like you, So, I like to make sure that people have a really good sense of self and know their own compass and barometer that they're going to use to decide how effective they're doing and so forth. And that's I think for me has been really important as I think about resetting and pulling out the next day is I have to refer to that as a reference point.
Yeah.
In terms of, am I meeting my own expectations?
Yeah. What are your expectations when you look at the next year, 5 years for us as a company? We talked some about this, but
Yeah,
what comes to mind for you?
I mean, I think we probably all understand this based on the conversation, but high performance, right? High performing organizations. So we've got 120 or so clients right now that we manage our technology for. We're looking to hit that at 250 in the next 5 years, and we're in 14 states. We like to be in at least the lower 48. So that's a massive stuff. And if you look at the market, there is nobody, at least it's a K-12 focused MSP, that is achieving that now. So, as I look at that, the mission is doing things that have not been done before.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely possible. And it's not we're going to try and do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
That's the expectation.
Well, I think with that, as you think about setting those type of expectations and that bar, right? It makes me think of, I always think of like Elon Musk with some of these, wild. My wife hates Elon Musk, but it is what it is.
Hit or miss.
Some of these wild, just big, hairy, audacious goals, right? Reusable rockets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be able to solve the financial cost of rockets so that we can do more, send more rockets into space and colonize Mars and all these different things, right? But when you think about a big, hairy, audacious goal, lower 48 states, when you think about, having, company, growth like that, I think that down and out, it's almost, never down and out, right? It's what's the comment from Captain America, right? That I can do this all day, right? That's, as he's getting pummeled and beat to the ground, like getting back up every single time. And I think in business, it's who has that fortitude, to do that, to have that attitude each time. And for us to be able to grow and scale, it's, as a team, we've got to be able to, pull each other back up every time. It's our revenge team, our Avengers, and so, but it's,
are we going to make a movie?
I think so. It's
Those would be some interesting costumes. Which, I'm not really a big fan of costumes,
Halloween,
but it is close to
I feel
Halloween,
like
so.
it's it would be one of those things.
I might not be. I'll be the director behind the scenes.
I was gonna say.
You won't see me in the.
I almost just said which Captain? Are you Captain America? Who are you in the Avengers? If you had to pick one Avenger that you are, this is going to be fascinating. I feel like this is a psychology lesson. All right, tell me which Avenger you are.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna
Iron Man probably.
I think you might be Tony.
I was just saying, is that his real name? I don't know.
Well, Tony Stark, Robert Downey
Tony
Jr.
Stark, yeah.
But yes,
Iron Man.
Yeah. Okay, Iron Man. There it is.
That's what it is next Halloween, Jess.
Iron Man.
Probably not.
Full on suit next Halloween.
Not gonna happen.
Full on.
Not gonna happen. But
come on, Krista, we're in.
But I think as you you look at those goals and what we're trying to achieve, sometimes you can feel backed against the corner trying to get there, right? Like there's no way, or how are we going to accomplish this? And it's a place that I love to be. And maybe that means I'm messed up,
Why do you love it so much? Like when you say you love it, tell me more about that.
It's probably the challenge side of me, but when you're backed against the wall, you've got two ways to go, right? You can just lay it up, give up, or you can choose to fight and do the hard stuff. And my path in life is I'm going to always fight. I'm always going to do the hard stuff, And I think that's bringing it back to the Chiefs. That's the locker room. That's the culture you put together. That's what we're talking about here. And a lot of the conversations I have in the interview process is you need to get excited about that. Like, this back to Elon and SpaceX or whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't love the thought of being the first to do something that has not been done, this might not be the best place for you. But if that gets you excited and you want to be able to achieve that, that's the culture we're after. So
that type of challenge, that type of, give me the ball type of a thing. Love it.
Yeah. All right. So as we wrap up here, what's your favorite candy?
Ooh, my favorite candy. I'm a jelly bean guy.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. Starburst jelly beans are my go-to.
How about the licorice, the black jelly beans?
I do not like black licorice.
See, I have a hard time with people that say they're jelly bean fans, and I'll put down the
so
black
Starburst jelly beans do not have black jelly beans. It's grape instead. Just saying, that's Brox or Brax,
I don't know.
however you pronounce that. The other brand. Yeah, they're just.
I don't
just
mind the
okay.
licorice. That's
okay.
fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm a good, I would say, peanut M&M guy.
Oh, nothing wrong with some good peanut M&Ms.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate? Which one are we talking about here?
Just milk chocolate. It's fine with me. We don't need to get anything
Don't need to
fancy
get crazy.
or crazy. Yeah,
That's right. We don't need to get sort of healthy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Well, I'm really gonna hope my kids go out there and haul it in for me on these.
I now
peanut
know
M&Ms,
which candy you're stealing from them. That's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna come over and give your kids some black jelly beans.
You're welcome to do that.
Yeah.
Have I told you what we do with our candy at our family? I let them keep a certain number. We pick a number every year, just randomly, like 25 pieces, and they get to keep 25 pieces, and I bring the rest here into the office.
I think actually,
it's gone within a couple days here, but we had
to hire a dump truck last year to take it all
that's
out
right.
after everybody
Some
brought
extra
it in,
trash removal. Don't worry about it.
It's
so
fine.
that's
fine.
right.
Well, I wish everybody a happy Halloween, even though it's not my favorite. But
That's right.
For now, this has been the Menlo Experience. We'll see you next time.
See ya.